Hey grade 7, welcome to Mr. V Teaches Math. I thought I would try something a little bit different today, and what I have on my screen, and what you guys are seeing, is a document that I typed up a few years ago, and you are actually going to get an opportunity to create something on a large piece of paper using the skills that you have learned with scale drawings and with maps and scales. Now, what you're going to get an opportunity to do is to suppose that you're the architect and designer for a new retirement resort that's being planned in northern Canada, say up north of Elliott Lake. You've been told that you will attract people who enjoy relaxing and playing the following sports. The sports that they play are tennis and shuffleboard and cycling and running on a track and then backpacking on nature trails. And so suppose that you're allowed to design a rectangular park that's going to measure 2 kilometers by 3 kilometers, and it needs to include the following elements. The map is to be drawn neatly on plain white paper, and I'm going to provide you with 12 by 18 inch paper. You're going to color it with pencil crayons. You have to follow all the rules for making maps. You have to make sure that your scale that you pick is in the legend. The map of your park must be drawn to scale, obviously. You choose a scale that you will use. You have to include at least one backpacking trail through a forested area. You have to include the length of the trail in real life. I would draw this on the map first and then calculate how long it is. You have to include at least one cycling trail, which has to be included. And then you're going to label the actual length of the trail in real life. Again, draw it on the map first and then calculate how long it is. You're going to include a tennis court with the dimensions that are 20 meters by 40 meters. You're going to include a racetrack, like an oval type racetrack, where the dimensions are 125 meters by 65 meters. You're going to include a shuffleboard court, which is approximately 1,500 centimeters by 300 centimeters, or 15 meters by 3 meters rather. You're going to include roads and parking. You're going to include trees. You're going to include bathrooms, change rooms, etc. That's the bare minimum that you have to include on your map. I've done this project now for a couple of years, and people have included hockey rinks, people have included malls, theaters, stadiums, and it's great. It's great to see extra stuff on there. But the stuff that's over here, that's the bare minimum. Okay. You may choose to include additional sports or items after you've completed the requirements. However, these also must be drawn accurately to scale and make sure the real-life measurements are on the map. You have to keep all your math work and hand it in with the project because I look over it to make sure that it's done correctly. Okay. Now, the next thing that I'm going to show you is this is how you're going to be graded and assessed. This is going to be your assessment of learning. You've had lots of practice with maps and scales, and so you've gotten feedback on that. You're going to get feedback on this, but there are a bunch of different things to be looking at. So I want to know that the map is neatly drawn on plain white paper and colored with pencil crayons. I want to know that all the rules for maps are followed. I want to see that the scale is included in the legend. The map of the park has to be drawn accurately to scale, and you need to make sure that your scale choice is appropriate. I need to make sure that your map includes tennis, shuffleboard, cycling trail, running track, backpacking trail. Your map has to include the roads and parking. It has to include the trees. It has to include the bathrooms and change rooms, etc. And you have to make sure that your math work is included and it's correct. Okay, and so you'll notice the different point values. Most things are sort of out of 5 points. The bigger things, that the map of the park is drawn accurately to scale and that the scale choice is appropriate and that your math work is included and correct. Those are sort of the bigger parts. Okay, now if you add up all of that stuff, you get a total of 55 points. Now, truth be told, I'm recording this really early on, so I'm not sure when we're going to actually get to this. I found in the past that it takes classes about a week of math classes to finish this. So whenever this gets assigned, I think it's probably appropriate to say that you have the week's math classes, or in other words, 7 math classes to work on this before you submit it. That should be enough time to do the math, to draw the park out, to color it, and all that stuff. Okay? So I hope you have fun. The classes that have done this in the past seem to have really enjoyed it and have put a lot of good effort into it, and I expect no different from you guys. And I'll be obviously walking around and making comments, making suggestions, and helping out with ideas as we go through this. So have fun with this. Have a lot of fun with this.